Hello and welcome ladies and gentlemen to another Druid video, and in this one I want to talk about the Stopcasting Starsurge macro. Because basically ever since Mike released his Boom King guide, I'm getting two messages all the time. Should I use the solar opener? Which I've already done a video about. There's probably an annotation on the screen somewhere so you can check it out. The second question is, should I use the Stopcasting macro? And this is the macro I'm talking about. Okay, /stopcasting /cast Starsurge. What this macro is designed to do is basically it helps you not waste shooting stars, because normally how you would do this is you would be casting spells, hard casting Wrath or Starfire, and if you get shooting stars you would press Starsurge and it would queue it up, so as soon as your Starfire or Wrath just fires off, Starsurge will be fired off as well. But when you're doing this, as you're queuing Starsurge, you might get another shooting stars proc, which will override the previous one, and you're basically wasting it because you did not fire it off fast enough. This can be avoided by moving. Of course, you can cast spell, you get a Starsurge, you move, and you press Starsurge, and it will start casting it, or it will fire it off. But with this macro, you don't have to move, okay? It's faster than moving, actually. The biggest problem with this is you can't queue Starsurge anymore, because this macro will cancel your previous cast. So, if you want to queue Starsurge, this will happen instead. Okay, you get a Starsurge, you want to fire it off, but it will stop Starfire or Wrath, will just stop that cast, and it will cast Starsurge instead, which is a big problem. And that's actually the basically deciding factor of whether you should use or shouldn't use this macro, because I can't tell you. Okay, it's up to you. If you're feeling comfortable and if you feel like you can use this macro properly, then use it. It will increase your DPS. If you're not sure and you think you might be using it incorrectly and you might screw something up, you might be pressing it at the wrong times, just don't. Your DPS will suffer if you're using this macro incorrectly. So the proper way of using this macro is something like this. Let's throw up on our dots, and we're gonna wait for shooting stars. Here we have shooting stars, so the proper way of using this macro is something like this. Okay, you will stop casting and you will fire off Starsurge as soon as possible. The incorrect way of using this is something like this. Do you see what I just did there? I cancelled my Starfire. I cancelled it way too late, and I've wasted second and a half. And that's just one cast. Okay? That's just one cast. It's like, imagine it like this. If you're using this macro incorrectly and you're actually cancelling your own casts as they're about to be finished, it's like you having an immune totem in the fight. And every now and then, okay, every, I don't know, 10 seconds, you turn to that totem and you use Moonfire. That totem is immune, but you do that. Just like that. And that's actually what you're doing if you're using this macro incorrectly, because you're wasting time. You're wasting your own time. And what can happen, especially during Bloodlust, if you're using this really incorrectly, is during Bloodlust you will get a lot of shooting stars. Obviously, you have all your cooldowns, you have all your procs, you have a massive haste bonus, you will get a lot of shooting stars. What can happen if you panic and if you just start pressing buttons is you're casting, you're cancelling your cast, you're trying to fire off Starsurge, then you start casting again, then you cancel it, you fire off another Starsurge, and suddenly you're not casting anything, you're just firing off Starsurges, and you're wasting time in between those Starsurges trying to cast a spell. So if you feel like you can use this properly, just go for it. It will be beneficial to you, it will increase your DPS, but if you feel like you might screw it up, either practice or just don't. Okay, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that important. But if you're using this macro to perfection, your DPS will go up quite a bit. Okay, it will go up by, 10, maybe 20,000 DPS. But if you're using it incorrectly, your DPS can sink like by 50k even, if you're using this really badly. So be really careful, and it's up to you. Do you feel like you can use this properly? You can actually monitor your own casts, and you can decide whether you should stop casting or not while doing the boss fight properly. You know, boss mechanics, surprise. Or whether you're not quite sure. Currently, I'm not sure myself. Okay, I'm using this macro now, but as soon as I step into Siege Heroics, I'm removing it. I'm just get it away from me. Yeah, I don't think I can do heroic bosses while monitoring this and taking care of my dots and multi-dot thing and that and Eclipse and this. So personally, I'm not using this while raiding. But you might be better than me, of course. I can't be the best boomkin in the world. That's nonsense. It's crazy talk. So, if you're feeling comfortable with using this macro, do. If you're not feeling comfortable, just don't. Okay, it's something that's not important. It's a nice bonus for really skilled players that can manage all of this stuff that, you know, boomkin is, plus doing the boss fight properly, plus monitoring and actually deciding whether they should cancel their cast or not.